Hey guys, welcome to Mark and Rosie Philippines Life. This is Mark Jackson. I want to thank you so much for checking out our YouTube channel, guys. I'm basically sharing with you me and Rosie's journey from me living here in North Carolina, USA, and each step as I travel eventually to the Philippines. As of today, I am 118 days away from having my 2 feet planted in Davao City. So I'm so excited. She's going to meet me there at the airport. I've been to the Philippines a few times before, but this particular one right here is special, guys. It's very special because I will actually be retired, which I'm retired now, but I'll actually be living in the Philippines. I'm going to renew my visa. I'm going to do what I need to do so that I can stay in the Philippines with the love of my life. This is going to be pretty special. So follow me along my journey. Like I said, 118 days away. 118 days away. But I wanted to share something with you because I have been to the Philippines a few times, and there are some vloggers or YouTubers that I follow. It's about 4 or 5 of them that I actually been following for years and years, and one of them that's I've been following for about 7 months now. And the game has changed a little bit, guys. From what I've noticed and what I've watched, the game has actually changed. Now, and what do I mean by that? See, even back in 2011, when I went to the Philippines, okay? Even back in 2011, that was my first visit to the Philippines. Back then, it was mostly older guys. It was mostly older people like myself, right? Retired, sick and tired of the Western world, the way of life, I should say. Maybe they've come off of a divorce or 2 or 3, and they just want to change their life, right? They want to get baptized and come back up out of the water with a whole new life where all their sins are forgiven, right? And I get it because the women, I'm just gonna speak of the Philippines. You ladies, the women in the Philippines are just special. You're just a special kind of special, especially when you get the right one. Now you can get some wrong ones over there, but especially when you get the right one, man. Oh my God, your life can be amazing, gentlemen. That's watching this, and I'm hoping to get way more subscribers, guys. I'm gonna be sharing with you some really cool lifestyle over there, really cool information. But I'm telling you, when you get the right Filipina, your eyes will roll up in your skull. Your heart will pound out of your chest. When you get the right one. And sometimes you can sense it, and sometimes you think you sense it, and you got the wrong one, okay? So, but you got to go through that. It's okay to make mistakes, okay? There's millions of beautiful Filipino women there. Beautiful inside and out, okay? So take the chance, man. Take the risk. But, just like the title of this one, am I too old? Because back in 2011, as I was saying, there's a lot of older gentlemen in Dumaguete, in Davao, or mostly Dumaguete, Manila, different places, right? And there's some places that are more saturated with foreigners and so forth. And you see a lot of older gentlemen, from different countries, or maybe Australia, maybe definitely United States and Canada and so forth. But the game has changed now because of the internet, because of working online and being able to produce your own money, make your own money online. There's a lot of younger guys that are just loving the Philippines, and they're playing the field. A lot of them are playing the field because, many of them have no intentions of getting married, of settling down with one until they get all their, sow their, sow their oats or seeds or whatever it is, right? And they have no intention of getting married. They're going to play the field. They'll play one for a few months, maybe a few years, play another one, or play multiple women at one time. And that's their prerogative, because the women let them do it, right? That's their prerogative because it's an equal, the women are taken care of financially. They're getting some money, and they're willing to be his girlfriend for however long period of time. I like what one of the YouTubers, he's been doing it. He's been in the Philippines for over 13 years. Calvin Roach, Calvin Roach 1 at Calvin Roach 1. But he's called Sunshine Shoulders. And Sunshine Shoulders, I always remember Sunshine Shoulders saying, it's the unspoken agreement, right? It's the unspoken agreement. You don't sign a contract or anything, but it's the unspoken agreement, which means that Filipina, guys, will take you more than good care of you, right? Like Sunshine Shoulders says, oil, what is a lube job and oil change. They'll give you a complete lube job and oil change. All you want, anytime you want. But the unspoken agreement is you're going to take care of her. Okay? You're going to take care of her. You're going to take care of her needs. You're going to take care of maybe even her family to a degree. But as long as you take care of her so that she doesn't have to suffer financially, she's going to take care of you. Okay? And I love that. The unspoken agreement. So, but what do you want, right? What do you want? If you're older, what do you want? If you're younger, what do you want? Like I said, most of the time it's a younger one. They're going to play around a little bit. They're going to go and they're going to play. They're going to enjoy their time, right? But if you're older like myself, and at this moment of this YouTube video, I'm 62 years old, we normally want to settle down. We want a woman that we can say is mine. I belong to her. She belongs to me. And you may have to go through a few women, right? As the saying goes, you might have to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince, right? And I've kissed some frogs, okay? I've kissed many frogs. But I know I got a good one now. Rosie, I can't wait to share our life with you guys. But what about you? Are you 60 years old? Are you 50 years old? Are you 40 years old? 30 years old? You know what I'm saying? Are you too old? Am I too old? Because now we're in competition with these young guys. You know, we're in competition with the 30-year-olds. And don't you think, doesn't it make sense that if you're a beautiful young Filipino lady and you've got the choice between a 70-year-old man, wrinkled and crinkled, not necessarily, but most of the time, right? 70-year-old man, wrinkled and crinkled, or a 27-year-old man, built, right? You know, he's straight, okay? And he's got income. He's got at least let's start with 3. He's got at least 3,000 USD coming in a month, or more, or even way more. Who do you think she's going to choose? The 62-year-old, the 70-year-old, or the 27-year-old? Who do you think she's going to choose? The 62-year-old like myself, or the 32-year-old? Who would you choose? So, am I too old? Well, the answer is, and if you're 62 like me, a few years younger, a few years older, I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer to the question. Am I too old? The answer is no, and I'm going to tell you why. Age gap means less in the Philippines than it does here in the United States. This is where I am, in North Carolina, United States. Age gap means way less. Now, some of the Filipino women, a lot of them, they want their men, younger and so forth. But most of the women there, even when you ask the 20-somethings, the 22-year-old Filipinas, the 25-year-old Filipinas, if a 60-year-old man was too old, I'm going to tell you, there's a ton of them there that say, no, I'd love to be with them. And they always say, because they're more mature, they're more settled, they know what a woman wants, they treat them like ladies, they know how to treat them, they know how to talk to them. Now, part of the reason why the 60s and above, the 50s and above know how to do all that is because of the trauma that we took in our previous marriages, the bad relationships that we had, or just the society in the West, the way it's so, over here is just so, what's the word I want to use? There's so much stress, there's so much tension, there's so much things that you don't even want to be in a relationship because of the way the mentality is of a lot of women here in the West. Not all, but a lot of them. Okay? And age gap is a big deal here in the United States. A 20-something-year-old wouldn't hardly ever go with a 62-year-old like myself. A 30-year-old would never go with a 60-something-year-old. A 40-year-old is still even, a little hesitant about talking to a 60-something-year-old man. Okay? And it's just my opinion. When I see men that are my age or older, 70 years old, 65 years old, or even the ones that's in their late 50s, in my opinion, they seem to eventually those relationships end when they get somebody way young, like a 20-year-old. I've seen where 60-something-year-olds had 19-year-old Filipinas. And yeah, they were in love for a while. But what really do you have in common if she's 20 and you're 60? If she's 22 and you're 62? If she's 25 and you're 75? What really do you have to talk about? Are we looking for a caregiver? You know, I got health issues myself, but I made it very clear to my love over there in the Philippines that when I do go over there in 118 days, I want to have my health where you're not my caregiver. I don't want her pushing me around in a wheelchair. Now, yes, Filipinos are some of the best caregivers in the world. They're the best nurses in the world. But I don't want to go 118 days from now where they got to roll me down the ramp at the airport in a wheelchair. I don't want to have to be on crutches. I don't want to have to use a cane. So I'm really working hard on whatever condition I have here in the United States to make sure it's on point, to make sure that my diabetes is in check, to make sure my neuropathy is manageable, so that when I go to the Philippines, I'm not a burden on her. Because even if I help her or help her mother financially, which I will, you know, in return, I don't want her to have to change my diaper. And I don't wear a diaper, y'all, but I'm not wearing a diaper, but I'm just using the example. I don't want her to have to wipe my poop when I poop, you know, feed me or whatever. I don't want that. I want to go over there, and I'm a high-energy 62-year-old person. You guys can tell. So when I go over there, I want to handle business both financially and physically, okay? I don't want to be just like, yeah, no. I want to go over there. I want to go over there right, okay? And so some of you may be wondering, well, how old is my girl? Well, my girl, okay, we've got an age gap. Yes, we have an age gap, but I'm 62, but she's not 22. She's not 19 like a lot of them do. She's not even 27, okay? My girl will be 32 years old. And that's considered old in the Philippines. By the time you get to 32, you better have children because they love making babies, right? They love, don't you pull out. They love making babies. They love having a baby. Even if you run off and leave and go back to your country and never come back, they're happy that they got a baby, okay? So my girl will be 32 in January. So when I look at a lot of guys on other YouTube channels where they're interviewing older men, my woman is older than theirs, and that man that's being interviewed is older than me. They look older than me. Their energy is older than me. Their energy is, is lesser than my energy. But they got a 21-year-old. Okay? So I'm 62. My girl will be 32 in January. So we're looking at a what? That was 60 to 30. That's a 30-year age gap. But fortunately, she's mature. She has no children. That's unusual over there. No children. And never been married. So I feel like, from where I come from, for me to be 62 and to have a 32-year-old woman, sexy woman, that's a good woman, inside and out, I feel very fortunate. So back to my title, guys. Am I too old? No, I'm not too old. No, you're not too old. But be careful. Be careful. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Now, I know some of y'all won't know what banana in the tailpipe means, but some of you that have watched the older black comedy movies, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about with the Eddie Murphy, right? Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. In other words, don't fall for some of the tricks, some of the ways that you could be tricked as an older person by thinking this 22-year-old is so much in love with you. There's horror stories all across the internet. More than enough. I don't even have to tell you any. More than enough horror stories. Okay? I mean, when I was online dating, when I was searching for the right Filipino online, you know how you have a filter, right? I think it's called Filipino Cupid. You have a filter, like how old do you want to be? How tall do you want to be? How much weight do you want? How much do you want them to weigh? I mean, you could be very specific, right? And if they were under, when I was looking, guys, if they were under a certain age, they were automatically filtered out. See, I knew I didn't want a 19-year-old. I didn't want an 18-year-old. I didn't want a 20-year-old. I didn't even want a 25-year-old, 26-year-old. Okay? I knew I didn't want that because there's nothing in common. I want to enjoy my life with someone that we can kind of relate. Now, some of y'all may be thinking, well, 30 years is nothing in common. Yeah, but like I said, you search long enough, you talk long enough, you can find the right one for you. You can find the right one for you. Okay? So, am I too old to retire in the Philippines? Am I too old to go over there and get a good woman? Is the competition too great now because so many of the younger guys are over there? No, you can find the right one for you guys, but just be careful. And don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Matter of fact, there's certain things I want to say, guys, but just don't be stupid. There's some stupid men in this world. When I watch other YouTube channels about the Philippines and about men that are dating women in the Philippines, I'm listening to their horror stories. Red flags keep popping up from the very beginning. And I'm like, are you stupid? Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Come on. Come on now. Guys, I'm excited about this channel, Mark and Rosie Philippines Life. I hope you're enjoying the content. I just want to help you in your journey to find a beautiful Filipino, both beautiful inside and out. I want to help you with what to expect. And I want you to follow my journey from North Carolina, USA, as I sit here in the car, all the way to the Philippines in March. 118 days will fall on March the 4th of 2026. It's going to go by like that. And I want you to come along with me. All right? Once again, please subscribe. Please tell other folks about this channel. I think it's very unique because I'm not in the Philippines talking about the Philippines. And you're going to follow my journey as I go into the Philippines and then meet my girl and then follow our journey as we live our life in the Philippines. Okay? So thanks so much for your support. Thanks for watching. My name is Mark A. Jackson. This is Mark and Rosie Philippines Life, guys. You all take care. Until next time, talk to you later.